Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the intense Nollywood family drama, Room for Her. We're going to extract that gripping narrative and, pull out the really powerful takeaways buried inside it. We're looking closely at how a seemingly simple act of charity completely unravels into this explosive revelation that literally shakes a family to its core. So, let's get into it.
Okay, so picture this. How would you react if bringing a vulnerable stranger into your own home led to the discovery of a massive, life-altering family secret? Seriously, put yourself in their shoes for a second. Imagine opening your doors, thinking you're doing this wonderful, selfless deed, only to have that exact action hold up a mirror to a dark, hidden past in your own marriage. Wow, that is the exact tension driving this incredible story.
All right, let's kick things off. Reviewing Room for Her.
So, the premise starts when Priska, an orphaned girl, arrives looking for a safe place to finish her education. She's initially welcomed into this massive family home. And what's really fascinating here is that it's actually the mother of the house who fights for Priska to stay. The father, he's pretty hesitant about bringing a stranger into their space. But the mother practically begs him. She argues that Priska is the orphan daughter of her best friend and just needs a roof over her head. She sets up tutors, promises to treat her like her own child, the whole shebang.
But then, boom, we get this dramatic, completely inexplicable shift. The mother goes from telling Priska, "You are my child," and showering her with gifts, to suddenly forcing her into a maid's uniform. It's total whiplash. I mean, out of nowhere, she bans Priska from the family dining table, exiles her to this tiny storeroom, and just declares her the new house girl. And the absolute worst part, she refuses to explain why. Naturally, this sudden cruelty creates a massive divide between the siblings watching all this unfold. On one side, you have the son, Noah. He's consistently defending Priska. But on the other side, there's the daughter, Nina. She just relentlessly hurls these classist insults, calling Priska a charity case, and honestly taking absolute delight in treating her like a servant. Right in the middle of all that toxicity, Noah's passionate defense of Priska really serves as the moral anchor of the film's first half. He literally tells his sister, "You're going to treat her with respect. She's a human being, for God's sake." He completely refuses to let Nina treat Priska like an animal. He goes out of his way to help her with chores, makes her feel seen. He's basically that crucial voice of reason when everyone else in the house seems to be losing their minds. Which brings us to the next section, the shocking biological twist. Okay, so here's how it all unravels, and it's a brilliant sequence of just quiet, devastating realizations. The mother happens to notice a specific birthmark on Priska's neck, a birthmark that perfectly matches her husband's. Yeah, suspicion takes root. She actually sneaks into Priska's room, grabs her toothbrush, and runs a secret DNA test. And the results confirm her absolute worst nightmare. Priska is her husband's biological child from a past affair. That whole orphan daughter of a friend story? Totally fake. She was actually the product of her husband's infidelity. So the explosive climax finally hits when the father comes back from a trip and discovers Priska dressed as a maid, totally banished from the family table. He demands answers, obviously. This pushes the mother to tearfully confess her agonizing discovery. She says, "The test came out. That was when it dawned on me that truly you fathered Priska. Maybe that was where the hatred begun." She admits that the exact moment that test confirmed the truth, her heart just hardened and she started punishing the girl for the sins of the father.
Moving on to our life lessons. Dangers of misplaced anger.
Think about it. Instead of confronting her husband about his betrayal the second she found out, the mother unfairly projected all that pain, all that humiliation and anger onto an innocent girl. Priska had zero idea about her true parentage. She was just a grieving young woman looking for a safe harbor. By misplacing that rage, the mother didn't heal a single one of her own wounds. All she did was traumatize an innocent person and fracture her family's trust even further.
Next up, choosing empathy over cruelty.
Noah's ultimate rebuke of his sister really captures why we absolutely must consciously choose empathy. When the truth finally drops that Priska is actually their biological half-sister, Nina is just left completely speechless. But Noah hits the nail on the head. He tells her, "You knew that girl was an orphan, and all you could have done was treat her with love and affection. What did you do? You treated her like a slave." Basically, regardless of someone's social background or blood relation, they deserve basic human dignity. Nina chose cruelty when she thought Priska was a nobody, and man, that reflects so poorly on her own character, not Priska's. It's just this stark reminder to treat everyone with grace, right? Because you truly never know how your lives might be intertwined.
And our final lesson, the power of forgiveness. By the end, this family is practically in ruins. And honestly, it would have been so incredibly easy for Priska to just walk away bitter and resentful. Who could blame her? But instead, after facing all that horrifying mistreatment and emotional abuse, she chooses a completely different path. Her willingness to actually listen to the tearful apologies of her newfound father and that deeply remorseful mother paves the literal only path forward for genuine healing. They decide to build bonds that transcend these massive past mistakes, moving forward with an open heart. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this. If a hidden truth completely rewrote your family history today, would you allow it to breed resentment, or would you find the strength to forgive? Look, we all face betrayals and unexpected truths in life. Maybe not quite as dramatic as a Nollywood movie, but they happen. How you handle those truths, and whether you can embrace the really tough necessity of forgiveness, well, that ultimately decides the peace in your own life. Thanks for exploring this amazing story with me, and keep looking out for those hidden life lessons all around us.